Hi, welcome to Mariel Beads and Beyond. Today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful earrings. They're really easy to make and they're perfect for last minute gifts. A list of materials is going to be in the description box. I hope that you enjoy this tutorial. Let's get started. We are going to pick up our 6mm crystal. We are going to pass our needle through the crystal. We just want to leave like half an inch tail. Sew through the crystal once again. You want to sew a total of 3 times. So that is 2. So we have 3 threads. We're gonna flip our bicone and we are going to repeat the step on this side. 1, 2, and 3. You are going to pick up 111, 1 Superduo, and 111. Our thread, it's exiting from the bicone. We are going to sew under the 3 threads. And we are going to sew back up through the second seed bead. Pick up 1 Superduo and 111. Our thread is coming out from the 11. We are going to sew under the 3 threads and we are going to sew back up through the 11 that we just added. We are going to continue this step. At this point, we want to be adding the tail of our thread, or you can make knots and cut it if you prefer. I add 7 Superduos. I'm going to grab my last one. My thread is exiting from this 11. I'm going to sew through the first 11 that we added. We are going to sew under the thread and we are going to sew back up through the 11. We are going to sew through the next Superduo. We are going to sew in a reverse direction through the top hole of the Superduo. We are going to pick up a 3mm pearl and we are going to sew through the next Superduo. And we are going to repeat this step throughout the row. This is our last pearl. We are going to sew through the Superduo and through the pearl. Our thread is exiting from the pearl. We are going to pick up 5/15 and we are going to sew through the bottom hole of the next Superduo. Pick up 5/15. Our thread is exiting from the bottom hole of the Superduo, sew up through the pearl. Pick up 4 15/0 and we are going to sew down through the 5th 15/0. That's why we're just picking up 4. and we are going to sew through the next Superduo. And we are going to continue repeating this step throughout the row. So we are going to pick up 5, sew through the purl, pick up 4, sew through the 15-0, and we are going to sew through the Superduo. Our thread is exiting from the last Superduo. We are going to sew through the first 15-0 out of the 5 15-0s that we added. We're gonna pick up 4, and we are going to sew through the purl. Now we are going to repeat these same steps on the other side. So we are going to pick up 5 15s. Our thread is exiting from the purl. We are going to sew through the Superduo. Pick up 5, sew through the purl, pick up 4, and we are going to sew through the fed seed bead, and then we are going to sew through the Superduo. Continue, and I'll be right back to show you the next step. Our thread is exiting from the last Superduo. We are going to sew up through the first 15-0, we are going to pick up 4, and we are going to sew through the purl. We are going to pick up 6 15-0, and we are going to sew back through the purl, through the Superduo, and through the next purl. We are going to repeat this step throughout the row. So back through the purl, sew through the Superduo, and if you can, through the next purl. We have our last 6. Sew through the purl, through the Superduo, We want to sew through the pearl. We are going to sew up through the first 15. We are going to pick up 115 and we are going to sew through the first 15 on the next set of 6. This is what you gotta have. Sew through the pearl, through the first 15, pick up a 15 and sew through the 15 on the other side. And continue repeating this step throughout the row. I am about to add my last 15-0. Our thread is coming out under the 15. Go ahead and sew through the 15 across. We are coming out from the bottom of the 15-0. We are going to skip the 15-0 on top of that one and we are going to sew through the next 15-0 across. Reinforce this one more time. Sew through the 4. And we are going to continue all the way around. I'm done. I reinforced and I cut my threads. All I'm going to do right now, I have my earring hook. With your pliers, you're just gonna open your hook and we are going to pass our earring hook under the threads of the beads. And we are going to go ahead and close it. And you should be done with your earring. I hope this project was easy to follow along. I hope that you like it. And if you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel. Share them with your friends. Until next time, thank you.